That's a gap. Lumber liquidators higher. Earnings. The other day we had a PFPT. I think had earnings before Fortinet. That didn't go so well. What's up, TA? East Coast. What's up, Rob? Let's go down our actionable list here. We got Acacia. Looks like a pullback to the 50-day moving average, and they're trying to bounce this morning. Earnings coming up tomorrow. All good. Very nice. That's all you can hope for is all good. Hexo, a little bit of a down day yesterday. Elevated volume. Not really out of trend. We'll see if that reverses today. Nvidia still bounced off that 50-day moving average. Look at that volume off that bounce, too. We got a Riot on BTC. DocuSign. After kind of an island bottom yesterday, it appears with this little mini gap. We'll see if it gets up back towards the highs. The NASDAQ yesterday, look where that girl closed, right there. NASDAQ closed right up towards the high of the day. That's pretty encouraging. Another little shelf of consolidation for the NASDAQ. Hopefully we can stay within a little sideways action here for a little bit. That'd be pretty good. Looks like trade desk up a little bit. Looks like already selling off, so maybe not much at all, but you can see yesterday with a little bit of elevated volume, more than the previous day, which had a pretty good close. And not a lot of volume on the way up here for trade desk, so probably not the best thing in the world. Match.com, still trying to get to highs. Disney, how's that pullback doing? It's like 2 days of pullback so far, and barely getting to any moving average. I believe that's the 8-day EMA. Adobe still in highs, holding that gap from the other day on earnings. It's pretty good. Tesla held the low of 230. Not much volume the past couple of days, so we're just consolidating. This is looking like it wants to go lower. Fortinet down 0.5% this morning. Within this trend, but not looking very jumpy, unfortunately. Is that it? That's it. That is the action list. Apple up almost 5% today. Gap up on earnings. Of course, Apple does whatever the hell it wants with how much money it makes. So, share buybacks and dividends. The sign of a dying company. Pretty much. All right, let me go. I'm in stocks. Okay. Let me go check EIBD, see if there's any more stocks that we're missing. And Kale forming a base right there. We'll see if that gets going again. Ooh, bad day today. See how that affects things, if anything. SSNC. Bad earnings. PayPal looks like it's still going up. This was looking at the IBD newspaper, which was put out on last Friday. Looking to see if I have any stocks not on our list. IPOs be filed soon. There's quite a few of them. Hey, what's up, Eli? Twilio sits near buy point with earnings due and whipsawing this morning pretty badly. Wow. Oh, not a whipsaw, just keeps going lower. All right. Alrighty then. So a couple of ominous signs here with some distribution and some leaders. Except for Apple, no distribution in Apple. It's like Hexo and Netflix leading our actionable list today. Netflix had a little small gap. Looks like it's extending today out of this little consolidative area. We'll see what that's able to do, if anything. Decent volume this morning. See if that's sustainable. MTOR speeds out a new base. We don't have this one. What's up, Ted? Good morning. Winnebago? It's doing fine. These little consolidations here aren't a huge concern generally. Um, you know, you can see this can go sideways for a little while. This can go sideways for a little while. I get these runs, but it's not breaking any rules. The 50-day moving average is way down here. May come test that. We'll see. Amazon starting their own freight company. Well, they should. That's how Walmart operates. They bought, what was it? I don't know if I remember. It was so long ago. Walmart just straight up bought a trucking company. Like, oh, that makes sense. All you do is ship stuff. So, yeah, Amazon may do the same thing. But they've actually been talking about that for a while. I think Amazon starting a freight company would be pretty good. Amazon working well. Looks like they had earnings about a week ago and killed it. Killing earnings. Wow. 709 from 490. Pretty nice. Amazon still a few percent from all-time highs. 2050 there it looks like. We'll get there. 5.8%. Working our way that direction. You don't think Amazon's Gonna get that fleet, Ted? Yeah, 2,000 for a share price. You know what? You know why everyone's doing this thing where they don't split their stock anymore? Back in the day, everybody would split their stock, and then what happened is Berkshire Hathaway has never split their stock, and they're sitting at $326,000 a share. And now everybody wants to be like Warren, so no one's splitting their share price anymore. So you end up with $1,000 share prices. $828 shares were traded about 3 weeks. Oh, that was a week. That was weeks. 328. So the other day, 127 shares were traded. What's the bid and ask on this? That'd be kind of fun. Look at the level 2 here. $5 spread. That's a $200 spread. That's not too bad. Nice accumulation days here recently for the Oracle of Omaha. Kind of a bat wing pattern there, but Warren Buffett price doesn't fall, it just goes up. May dip a little bit, but what it do during the bear market? 16%. About half of what the S&P did. Sounds about right. Hold on a sec. Yeah, so that's why you have these huge share prices, is because of Berkshire Hathaway. All right, check our leaders on the day. Hexo, pausing. Netflix, pausing a little bit. And there's some little bit of selling coming in. Yeah, it hasn't worked really well out of this kind of this consolidation here. Nvidia, noted that was bouncing off that 50-day moving average right there. Pretty good. Acacia, 50 catching up with it. That could be a decent place to maybe get some shares. Look like a 3-week long base here. And Disney bouncing off of any trend line it can find. GPK. All right, still holding up in that little bull flag. I like the tight action up here. That's very good. We'll see if that continues. That would be ideal. DocuSign. Retrace that little gap it started with. And we'll see what the day holds for that guy. On the daily time frame here. Yesterday could have been a little fluke, just a little pop down. There's a 50-day moving average in blue right there. Pop higher, we'll see. There's GPK again. Tesla, positive. Yeah, again, this kind of just looks like a consolidation, though, for lower prices. I mean, hopefully it can break up higher, but hard to bet on that right now. 5 taking a little pause. Let's take a look at 5. Oh, yes, sir. 5 holding nice and tight up here. It's a pretty nice consolidation. We had a little frozen rope thing going on. It looks like there's a 20. That's one of my 20% target lines, more than likely. Yeah, that's what that is. So, pretty good. TGT dropped the other day. Let's take a look. Is that the retailer Target? And why aren't I getting it? Oh, took long enough. Yeah, I don't like that. We had a larger gap here, Bit of retracement, then another gap down. Um, yeah, first of all, Target usually, well, first of all, Target is not a super high growth stock. You can see here we've been floating about in a range since basically late 2014. What the hell's going on here? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not a high growth stock. Don't think we're gonna have any major rallies out of this. This isn't a stock I'm generally interested in. A couple of gap downs like this, I'm not impressed by that. Yeah, just avoid this name. See, there's lots of stocks you should avoid and very few stocks you should pay attention to. It's good to pay attention to the ones you should pay attention to. So gap downs, extremely long term, and downtrends, usually not your stronger performers. Your better performers will have an uptrend and then a base of some kind. And then our job is to get in on the continuing uptrend. Maybe even some kind of slight reversal and an uptrend. But like with Target, maybe a little intrigued right here because you do have a previous uptrend, a consolidation, and then, maybe a follow through on an uptrend. So that would be intriguing there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite a flat base, but at least it's a consolidation after some kind of an uptrend. On the daily, it's trying to break out of this gap, and then it goes on a little run. What's the debacle about the plant in Oregon? Just jobs, or what was the debacle? Was it a bad plant build, or they just mismanaged it horribly? Go check on the global watch list. Nu Skin up 26%. As we noted, a lot of stocks have a hard time getting over 30%, so this probably doesn't have a lot of room left in it. Oh, bad quality. You're telling me hippies don't make good RVs? Is that what you're saying, Ted? That's racist against hippie RV builders. Lumber liquidators, 7%. Oh, yeah, pretty much. Racist against hippie RV builders. Apple, SOI, Grub, sold off after earnings. Wow, look at that. Gapped up and came all the way back down. Usually not a good sign when they gap up and sell off. That's usually not a good sign. Take-Two Interactive, earnings coming up. Maybe trying to get out of lows. We'll see. CDW, MDC, Skyworks. Big gap up day for some reason. Earnings aren't yet, are they? 5.2 aftermarket, so tomorrow. Commvault, big drop on earnings the other day. Netflix, a little bull flag there. Nice, Netflix may get going here. We'll see if it'll try to go into recent highs there. Little promising. Acacia bouncing off that 50-day moving average, still pretty good. LVS looks pretty healthy right there. Little pause on the daily chart. How can I possibly want this much black space here? Come on, man. Yes, 408 weeks to the right is what I want. Hate that. See, that's much better. All right, Roku. Actually, nice little cup and handle here on the weekly. It's probably super deep, though. 66%. That's a really deep cup with handle. Don't know if that qualifies. That would actually wash out the base count. And so this would just be a base. This would be a first stage base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks now. And your buy point would be up here. Let's see how deep it is. 26%. So it would be a cut base of sorts. And it's like earnings in a week or so. Volume kind of flattening out a little bit. Had an elevated green day right there, which is fine. A little gap on something. So maybe Roku could get going again here on the little mini gap up. We have earnings, so we'll see if we just rocket into highs as things tend to happen. AL Air Lease. Look at the movement this morning on the bottom right chart, straight up. That's pretty encouraging. Is that today's volume? Oh, that's yesterday's volume. I was gonna say that's a lot of volume. That's an exhaustive volume already. But good day today. That's crazy. That's pretty good right there today. Looks like a cup and handle. Um, that's good for an uptrend. That's good for a downtrend. There's no handle here. It appears to be just a cup base. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, it appears to be a cup base with your buy point of 39 and change. So we're barely above the buy point, less than $1. So technically it's still buyable for Air Lease. They lease aircraft is what they do. I'm familiar with this company. Earnings don't come for another couple of weeks, maybe a week. So good morning this morning. Not quite sure don't know much about this thing these days. Used to be a leader back in the day. And yeah, right about here I think I was trading it. Huh. Interesting little pattern there, but trying to break out right there. INS coming back to the 50-day. Charter. That's schools? Oh, communications. Charter communications. Look at this thing on the weekly chart. Very nice move up. Wow, $400. It's pretty big. Down to 38. That's a pretty good base right there. May argue it's a double bottom, and you would have a buy point right there about 398. Looks like it's trying to run ahead of that. Pretty good right there. Earnings 4:30 before market, so yesterday. Not a lot of volume stepping in here, so I guess holding tight's better than falling, and maybe that's what you get when you don't fall, is you get a nice rally the next day. So Charter looking pretty promising here. Don't know if there's much of a base here. And there's really no base that I can see here. New IBD new high list is Charter. I think it's a 52-week high list. That's about it. But good performance this morning. Kind of like the Warriors past couple of games. Good performances. SIVB, our buddy trying to break over that inverted head and shoulders pattern. Still chopping away at the trend line. Not really a tremendous amount of upward momentum. It doesn't really need it right now, I guess. Although it'd be better if it did, obviously. More upward momentum or less upward momentum? I'll take more. INSG. Yeah, it has held up pretty well. Looks like it may be forming. Maybe it's a different pattern. Maybe we get something else. Maybe we get a falling wedge or something. And yeah, volume is declining. So that's pretty good. It is kind of slowly meandering into lows, but nothing too bad. So break over some kind of a trend line maybe good. There's a couple here you can play with. I was going to try to draw this one out, but So one of those two trend lines, yeah, I don't think it's too bad. You don't want to jump in front of these things, though. You want to wait for them to show you that they are going to move before you jump in. Earnings in a week. When is 5/8? In a week. Yep, exactly a week. Yeah, math should have told me that. Little double bottom here. Yeah, see if we can curl up above a trend line here. Breaking that 50-day would be bullish. Definitely a base here of some kind. Yeah, it's not bad. I think I took this off of the actionable list. I think I'll put it back on the actionable list. %98 held by institutions. Yeah, that is pretty high. Fortinet taking it on the chin this morning. Wow. 1.56% down today. Unable to rally. Yeah, get this trend line way down here. So we'll see how this goes. That is some elevated volume too. Not very encouraged by that. I was hoping we'd get more bounce out of this rally, maybe back towards the highs up here, but we haven't been able to do that. There's been some pressure forcing this thing downward. So our loser on the day, Fortinet, not so hot. Let's go back to our actionable list. Hexo holding up decently. Still holding, consolidating. Acacia. All right, still holding up higher. Netflix 2.59, getting a little bit higher than where we were last time we saw it. Look at the volume decline in Netflix. I didn't notice that until just now. It's been pretty extreme. I don't know if they can hold that trend. So this selling may be over Netflix if that's the trend of the volume, which kind of accounts for what we're doing this morning here. So that's good. Nvidia, Disney, holding really nice. Yeah, so a lot of stocks are held by institutions, a tremendous amount. It is pretty good when your stock is held by institutions like that. There's always a negative to every situation. The negative to this one, obviously, is if an institution wants to dump some shares, it could be pretty abrupt. All right, GPK still pretty tight, holding towards highs. Looks like it's not ready to break out yet. Trade desk. Just looks like not quite an inside day yesterday. So far, an inside day today. We'll see if we can hold it inside day today. That could be a nice little proponent for a breakout or a further breakout. This thing is sitting up here in all-time highs, so looks like it wants to go in that direction. Hold on a minute, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. What'd I miss? What'd I miss? Sure, I missed something. Nu Skin dropped 2%. That's what I missed. Leader on the day. Pretty interesting. I mean, Nu Skin we were trading it over here during this craziness. That was some insane Nu Skin rallies right here. I mean, crazy. I don't really remember why they dropped, but I'm not sure if that was one day or a couple of days. But Nu Skin had one of the better runs. It's just a crazy, tremendous run. Don't think we're going to get that here today, or anytime soon. I think most people are over this company. Netflix rocking there into highs. Keep going, Netflix. Very good. Which means Fortinet dropping into the dirt. Looks like it bounced a little bit. We'll see if that's a dead cat bounce. We've been doing that in Fortinet. It's been kind of spiking lower like that, then they let it come back. Just distributing shares every couple of days, it looks like. Not my ideal scenario for holding a stock. Muy no bueno. Docu looks like it hasn't really caught its feet yet, or gotten its feet back under it. That's a better way of saying that, huh? Hexo pulled back a little bit. All right, I guess that's our story today. Pretty flat, pretty choppy market. We got some things up 2%, some things in the decimal points, and here we get decimal points in 1%. So overall, we're a little bit higher, but let's see what's failing on the global list. Let's see here. Garmin down 6.5%. That's some bad earnings. MDB looks really bad on the intraday chart on the bottom right there. Daily looks like it's just not doing that bad. NBEV. Yeah, GPK is staying tight. Twilio. Obviously, this one's been a leader for about a year now, going down there from about $30 up to 142, and it had earnings. It looks like it beat earnings by double. And it's not having a great day today. Only down 3.84%. Maybe not too bad, but definitely some profit taking. When things have gone straight up for a year, there's going to be some profit taking. All right, STNE here. Not really much doing there. AMED looks like something holding up tight. Not really actionable yet, though. AMRN, an old friend of ours. I'm going to put an alert here on AMRN just to remember to keep it interessante. To quote a beer company that has a really bad commercial set now. Chesapeake Energy, no thank you. CME Group, not having a good day. FANG. Looks like it's all Chesapeake and FANG. EC, not having a good day. Paycom with a bad day after earnings. Looks like a lot of our recent leaders, that's why Fortinet's having such a bad day today. A lot of these recent winners looks like they're dropping on their earnings reports. Even the ones that are beating are dropping. And they're not huge drops. But they're definitely dropping. I'm not seeing too many, maybe a cycle change going on here. Fox, we noted it going into highs, not a lot of volume. Looks like it's a little bit lower. It's been hanging out high, though. Earnings today after market. CLR definitely taking on the chin after earnings. And even a couple days before that. There's Paycom again. FFIV, not interested. ZS, sitting in higher consolidation with earnings up. Looks like in a couple of weeks. Nothing too bad. INVA, WDR. Grifols. Ulta looks like it's consolidating or dropping. It's hard to say. 530. That comes up in a couple of weeks. WHD, again, failure to get into highs. Look at that. 40.97 here on the weekly holding. We spiked up to it here recently. Didn't even get above it. Xilinx. Big drop on earnings. No bounce back. So we're definitely going to go through a bigger consolidation here. Alta, NSC, NIO. 5N. Not bad. So market's holding, but we're not really seeing a lot of rallies. So that pause for the past week on the Nasdaq there is pretty indicative of what's happening with a lot of these stocks. Not a ton of movement, even on some good news. Not a tremendous amount of movement here. Workday. Today not having a good day, but it has been getting higher. Did break that high of 200. Could be an opportunity to acquire a position in Workday as it pulls back. Carvana also in new highs. Not a lot of volume here. Cyber again, new highs, not a lot of volume. Cadence. Man, this thing likes running, doesn't it? Nike. Not much going on there. How's our buddy Shen doing? Not very well. Wow, look, it's so fun. If I can find it. Starbucks doing good. This guy's holding up. Looks like another new high yesterday. Had a good earnings report. This thing is marching, just getting on with the program there. Doc, you getting a little green? Newer looks pretty good. I'm going to put this on my actionable list here. I know it's got earnings coming up. Let's get 514. So a couple of weeks. But I mean, it hasn't. I like this uptrend on the weekly here and then a large consolidation for a long period of time. I really like these plays. Here's some of my favorite plays in the market because you see a lot of these that go on to break out again and then have good moves. So I'm liking Newer here. I'm going to put a little alert right at this trend line. Oh. Yeah, whatever. All right. OGRMF, new highs today. Pulled back from them, but still not bad. EPAM, man, look at that. Can't stop, won't stop. Hard to get in on that one. Sometimes when you try to grab a rolling freight train, it rips your arms off. That's why I don't ever do that. MMP, not the worst pattern in the world. Our buddy SIVB rocketed into recent highs and then looks like selling off a little bit. VMware, wow. VMware boring you into profits right there. O'Reilly, little gap down. See if it'll bounce back up out of that kind of 384 level. Well, no, that's right. I was going to say Control 4. Must be in the thick of a bunch of stocks right now. Look at Control 4, man. Remember late last year, I guess middle last year. We had this really nice rally in Control 4. Cup and handle try to break out into new highs. Now look at this thing, just cratered. Deep. About 50%. That's a lot. AVGO, Broadcom, unable to go down. Amazon, looking very good for one of those larger consolidations, even though it may just be this. Maybe we get a handle or something if we're lucky, but on the next leg up, another great time to buy Amazon. Eli Lilly just made me jump up. Micron getting pretty tight here. That one's not bad at all, actually. I'm going to throw this one on the actionable list. Like earnings coming up in a while. We had earnings here. Put an alert right there on Micron, see if we can get over that. It's been holding up really nicely. We know some spikes lower, hasn't been doing much, but yeah, definitely is making higher lows, which is good. Wow, Alibaba's nice and flat here. That's got to be a flat base. It is, and we did note that in the time. Looks like it's... Man, that's super tight. I like this. This is gorgeous. They do have earnings coming up, 5:15, so it's a while. Netflix leading our day here today, up 3%. That's good. I like this BABA chart, dude. Look at that. Super uptrend. Nice pattern. Looks like a little tight squeeze going on here, too. This is really nice.
Daddy, what do I do on Mondays?
Huh?
What do I do on Mondays?
On Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Usually just stay here or go to grandma sometimes.
Grandma.
Yeah, we'll see if grandma can take you, Bugs. I like this BABA chart right here, dude. This is nice.
Yeah. That looks like an eagle.
Like an eagle, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to get rid of my Fortinet, I think. Kind of prepare to buy me some BABA probably. How's Baidu? Not so hot. Let's check out the signs on Alibaba here. '99 composite rating, 84 relative strength. It's not really breaking out into. See, relative strength height should be breaking out into new highs before the stock does. Not quite doing that. Wow, they're ranking this better than Amazon. Wow, that's crazy. Especially with a 9% EPS change last quarter. Must be a horrible group overall. Baba, Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Stitch Fix. Those are the top 5 in this industry group. 34% sales change last quarter. 55% 3-year sales growth rate. Pre-tax margin 45%. Huge market cap. 3% change in funds owning stock. 8 quarters of increasing fund ownership. Why not all big market winners have the highest EPS ratings? All right, Investors Business Daily from article from a week ago. Let's look at that. Alibaba, though, that's nice. Etsy's been on our list from time to time. And nice consolidation, though. Yeah, it must not be on my global watch list. Should be on my global watch list at a minimum. No wonder we haven't seen it for a while. Decent little consolidation. Looks like it has formed another base. So looks like qualifies as a flat base. And maybe trying to break out. It's attempting to get higher earnings in a week. So we'll see how that goes. But the relative strength line in Alibaba, not so hot, but that'll change with a quickness with a nice pop out of Alibaba. That thing is just super tight. Look at how tight that is, man. That's just beautiful. Composite rating 86 for EPS rating, which is weird. Why it's even so high? 2 quarters of EPS acceleration is pretty good. That's probably why it's so high. I think volume should be a little bit lower for this consolidation, but I guess it is what it is. Earnings 515 before market, so 2 weeks. And maybe possible to rally through that. See if we stall out around this area today. It's about when we've stalled the past couple of weeks. This is nice. All right, Hexo. What's Hexo up to? Hexo's up to that. Netflix is looking pretty nice so far. Still kind of maintaining this elevated level. We'll see if it'll break up from that. That would be a nice change. Acacia been holding its gap today. That's pretty bullish. And our buddy Baba just hanging out. Let's see if I got Baba back. So 20% here be about 226. Well, that's some increased volume here on that 5-minute chart. Look at that. That's some buying coming in right there. I wonder if that's going to top us out, or that may try to propel us. We'll see. Yeah, Micron also looking pretty good right there. All right, let's throw in a load up here on Alibaba. Man, it's still going. Just broke yesterday's high. This is really nice. Don't go too far too fast, Alibaba. I gotta let some money settle before I can buy you. Chat disconnected. Interesting. Chat's gone. Acacia. Bang, popping up. Very nice. Looks like I'm connected again. YouTube's not working. Had some issues with YouTube lately. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce out of here. Nice to find Alibaba doing so well, nice and tight. Kind of wait to see what that thing does. It's a nice consolidation. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here today. Have a good day, guys. I believe today is Wednesday, so I should see you guys tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.